Yeah, I think we don't really need an introduction.
Well, we don't even have a name yet, so...
Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the unnamed podcast about 70,776.
Is that how we're saying it?
That's how I'm saying it.
All right.
Oh, I'm
How
just
are
saying
you
the
saying
numbers
it?
one after another.
I just say 17776.
Yeah.
What 776? I like that. I'm Maple Strip, and you are...
I'm Pigeon.
And Rain.
And we're going to talk about the first chapter of Jon Bois. I don't even know how you say his
Boys.
I think it's Bois.
You sure
I think it's
Bois?
boys.
I think it's Bois.
I mean, it doesn't.
Well-
He doesn't seem French at all or anything. But I don't know.
I've been saying
Well-
Bois. I don't know.
Yes.
Jon
both
Bois. He's
pronunciation
from SB Nation. He's
Well-
a sports writer.
Yeah, I know that. Well, the fans probably don't know that. So Jon
Boys.
is a sports writer, and he has written an amazing webcomic about
Space
About-
props.
space probes,
And
I
football.
suppose, about football in the far future,
Yeah.
and immortal humanity, and the meaning of life, and
light bulbs and Lunchables.
I couldn't have said it better.
So we're just gonna go through, I guess, chapter 1, which doesn't actually have a name now that I'm looking at. Oh no, it does. Please answer
It's
me.
it's just chapter 1. Oh no, on the main page there's another name.
Yeah. So if you want to
please
read,
answer me.
if you want to read along with us,
Okay, no, you do have a name actually.
it does. Yeah.
Shall we just go from the top and just read down, basically?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems fine. First of all, I just like how these are all just basically calendar pages. I like how every year has its own font.
I read
Yeah,
this
it's kinda
the first
surprising.
time.
The first time I read this webcomic, I went completely blind. I just saw it on Tumblr.
Yeah,
And I
I
was
read it at 1
pretty
a.m.
confused.
I had no idea what was going on.
That's the best. That's the best time to read something like this.
It really
And
is.
it's great to just walk into this blind
Yeah.
too. So I was like, I don't have time for something
What
like
the heck's
this.
going on?
I need to be writing a video or something. I don't have time for this.
I made the mistake of reading it on my phone, and having to scroll through all of this on my phone wasn't fun.
Oh
It took
my.
forever. It was
The
not
website
good.
works pretty well on the phone.
It
actually.
does, which is really good because I didn't want to pull my laptop out at 1 a.m, and I didn't expect it to turn into anything. I thought it was just going to be. Did you got the
Text.
article where all the text started going weird right at the
I
beginning?
didn't
No,
even
I
notice
didn't.
that. I actually didn't notice that the first time. I did go back to it later.
Yeah.
By private window.
Yeah,
whatever.
when I got into it there, I started reading like the actual article that was on like
Mm.
the SB Nation website, and then it all started going really weird, and I got a little scared. I had no idea what was going on, and then calendar page.
Like your
Something is
phone is
terribly
bugging
wrong.
or
Yeah.
Something is terribly wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But I started going through here. I didn't know what to think because there's no introduction or anything. There's no
Yeah.
context for what's going on.
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
counterpart to this kind of introduction.
No,
Jeez.
I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. Actually, because there's a lot of references to like power and charging and sending messages, I was thinking cell phones right away. Because that's the only thing that I think about having to charge in order to communicate with people. So I that was what I was picturing, which doesn't make any sense. So I don't know why that's the first thing I thought of. But
I think I actually did have space in mind when I first read this.
yeah,
Because it's
Yeah,
just,
same, but Like
the long
people,
distance.
as Nine
definitely
thought he
people.
was trapped
yeah,
in a probe.
yeah. That's what I was because just the long amount of time that the kind of visuals are giving you between messages.
Yeah.
What I want to
It
know
was
though
pretty crazy.
is like for the beginning here, 9 is just sending out all of these messages. So is 10 just getting all of those like one after another? Because that's like really spammy and annoying. That would be really frustrating.
It's like 9 sent one message. She got one message back. Who is this? Are you talking to me? What do you mean? Etc.
Yeah.
And then 9 immediately responds again, and then 9 immediately. 1 week later, she gets, please respond immediately.
Yeah.
Are you still there? A week later. Not a
Like
week
a
later,
flow
please.
of messages.
And then 9 gets all, and like I think it's the January 44 on the page. It's just, this is going to be my last attempt. Do not send me any more messages unless you'll answer.
Yeah.
And then
like,
you just go again.
And then again, yeah.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were able to stay silent for 1 month and then. So, but the time, just generally how long this takes, you can really feel it.
It's
Especially
pretty,
when you're not sure who this is.
Yeah.
it's pretty relatable. Like, if we're trapped in, space,
Yeah.
and we're like desperately searching for help.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. I was a little freaked out, honestly, because it was late and it was dark in my house and I had no idea what was going on. But the calendar, it's a really good format, I think, to kind of convey
I've
that.
never seen it before, yeah.
Although I am glad that when you get down to the end of the calendar and you have to wait for the 27 years or whatever,
Yeah,
that I
I
didn't
thought
have to
we
scroll
would
through all
have
of
to
that.
wait, really, these 27 years.
When I showed this to a friend of mine, he was like, shit, do I need to read through all 27 years of this?
No, yeah, it's just
then-
a lot of
Yeah.
scrolling. But when you get through it, then it gets a lot. Well, I don't want to say more interesting because it's all interesting, but a lot easier to consume, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
I think one of my favorite parts. I'm trying to find it here, but again, lots of scrolling. Yeah, don't contact me for 27 years and 13 days, and then you scroll for about like 3 weeks, and it's just shit. I don't. Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Because
10
he's just
9 just
he's just used to respond back. And we
no
can't
idea what's
blame
going
him for
on.
that.
Don't respond to me. 27 years, 13 days. Okay, sorry. And then like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 days later. Wait, shit, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Starting over again. See you in 27 years. And then all of that.
Should it be 11 days later, by the way?
Oh, did I count wrong? Probably. Oh.
But
Oh, yeah, you're right. I missed those. 6. Yeah, you're right.
Because 9 could send one message every 11 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty weird that 10 can send less messages. Might just be because she's not used to it anymore, but
I guess so. I'm just really curious to know like what's going through Nine's head through all of this, because there's no kind of context for anything. This is obviously the first kind of experience that they've had.
there's also this one thing at what month is this? October 46. Where you're like this whole year of 9 just kind of freaking out. What the frick is that term, mechanatometer or whatever?
Oh yeah, magnetometer.
Yeah.
And then 10 just says, yes you do, buddy. And then
Right? All
9
of
is
that.
And
like,
actually,
wait,
he finds it.
oh shit, it's here.
I think before that, I was trying to find the line where it's like, I don't know how to have something. I like that.
Oh yeah,
It's,
Yeah, it's great.
because and like you can really sense that Nine's obviously very confused and very lonely, because there's a lot of I love yous in here that are kind of latched onto right away, which kind of shows that it's obviously been a long time since 9 has spoken to anyone, and I don't know if this is this is the first time that they've tried to communicate with anyone or what,
But yeah, those I love yous are really fascinating, by the way, because 9 just immediately reciprocated that.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like, but how? Why? But I think subconsciously or something like that, they just know that they're related to.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Yeah, that's
just
kinda what I
glad
was
to have
thinking.
someone to talk to.
Honestly, yeah.
Could
If
also-
you've been isolated for so long, I think that could be it as well. If you haven't spoken to anyone for who knows how long, right?
Yeah.
It's yeah. And so then we get past the 27 years and 13 days.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll down.
And then we
Oh,
get
yeah.
to my favorite part. I said that like 5 times already, but I do like this one because I have a lot of notes on this one. What was the average recorded wind chill during the 1967 NFL Championship? 48 degrees
All right,
Fahrenheit.
story time.
I went and Googled this. I was on Wikipedia.
Okay.
It was a game that got played in 1967 on December 31st. It was the Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers, and it's referred to as the Ice Bowl because the game time temperature at the field was negative 15 Fahrenheit. And for all you normal people out here who don't use Fahrenheit, that's negative 26 degrees Celsius. The average wind chill was negative 44 Celsius, so negative 48 Fahrenheit, which is what the comic mentions.
So it's actually kind of great because negative 30 Fahrenheit and negative 30 Celsius are basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what this meant basically.
Yeah. However you tell temperature, it's really damn cold. But it wouldn't have been a problem because the field that they were playing this game on had heaters installed in it to like keep the turf warm, but they stopped working.
Okay.
So as soon as they took the tarp off the field at the beginning of the game, all of the moisture that was there froze. So the whole field was frozen the entire time. And it only got worse as the day went on and the like more shadows came from the got casted by the stadium, so it froze more. On the way to the game, a bunch of players couldn't start their cars because it was too cold. So one of them ended up having to hitchhike. They had to stand on the side of the road. A bunch of the refs had to go out to like a store at the beginning of the game to buy more earmuffs and mittens and stuff because they didn't have like winter clothing to wear. They had one ref. They couldn't use their whistles because as soon as you put the whistle in your mouth, it would freeze your lips. So
it gets stuck in your mouth.
Yes, yeah, it was a very cold football
it would
game.
Totally get stuck.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so negative 48 degrees.
At least they didn't try, right?
Yeah.
Well, they probably touched the whistle and they're like, no.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I know what it's like to touch.
These are the kind of football stories that are just the best. It's a pretty good story.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, that's the 1967 NFL Championship game if you want to go look that up. The Packers won, so that's interesting if you're into football. Anyways, that's my story.
I don't know anything about.
I don't either. Hockey maybe, but not football.
But yeah, minus 48 degrees. The 9 had to access a negative number.
I like the part where 10 says that he have to figure out something abstract. It's like he needed 9 to think by himself in order to get more knowledge from 10 and Juice and the others. And I think it is an interesting part of the process and how the props become sentient. Yeah. Well,
they are all sentient, but how to get this connection, this
quantum
higher level of
quantum communication.
Yeah.
Because faster than light communication is the least realistic thing in the entire webcomic.
Yes. Yeah. It's. I was talking with someone about this actually because later on in the comic, we see the probes watching things on Earth, and we also have a reference to people on Earth listening to them. So what I want to know is, have humans become capable of that? Because otherwise there would be a pretty big delay between the probes saying, in quotes, saying something, and then people on Earth hearing it. Because they're pretty far away, and if that is still just light speed, that's going to take a long time, considering how far away these probes are at this point.
If I'm allowed to spoil something from today's update,
I haven't read it yet.
Today is the 14th, but I can tell you that the communication is instantaneous with humans as well.
Okay, I kind of figured. I'm just really interested to. I'm sure I don't know if Jon would have. What kind of thought he put into the negative number thing. I don't know enough about old computers, but that's a really interesting kind of way to establish that.
Well, actually, I hadn't even considered that, but yeah, these the 60s computers wouldn't be able to access negative numbers.
No, it would have been a pretty simple, especially like the Pioneer probes were, like Pioneer 9 launched in 1968, so it's an older piece of technology.
9 has 2 kilobytes on data storage. 2 kilobytes.
Oh my god. My watch is more than that.
That's huge, no?
and then she turned that into, what was it, 2 exabytes or something?
5 exabytes.
Yeah, I have it here.
That
5 exabytes.
That just doesn't make any sense. But I'm not gonna rant about that. So
Okay.
It makes more sense than personalized communication. So.
Yeah, I guess arguably, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Now I picked something up in here. They were talking about how do I know who Frank Gifford was? It was in the artifacts of your data storage unit. While they were testing it out, they were writing and erasing all kinds of random data. Have any of you guys played Portal?
Yeah, Portal 2 mostly,
no.
but also Portal 1
Okay.
a bit. Yeah.
I know what it's about.
Yeah, one of the things that is an example of reading and writing random data is cake recipes. And I don't know if that's a reference there, but I only picked up on that when I read through it just now. So
No, it's actually pretty common, though. I'm not sure if they would have done that with the Pioneer probes, now I think of it. I should look into that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of random to do something like adding... Well, okay, cake recipes is probably a reference, now you mention it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but dummy data, you just pull whatever you can. But I thought this was kind of interesting because it kind of explains the if the personality differences between the different probes, I guess, because they were all created at different times.
That's brilliant.
And I was kind of thinking this before, like, this is more detailed than I read through Chapter 1 the first few times I've read it. But, Juice is a lot more... Like, his kind of way of speaking is a lot more modern, I guess. And that makes sense because that probe was manufactured... Actually, is still being manufactured right now.
Yeah.
So if that was still a thing, it would be a lot more modern data that was getting written to that. So that would kind of explain that.
Yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. But I'm not sure how much dummy data they actually put into these things. It's hard to say.
I can see it being more of a thing in the 60s when computers in general were still kind of a newer, more scientific thing, right? You're not really sure how dependable it is, but now that we've got more dependable storage on basically everything, right? It's probably not something you would need to do.
Yeah, or at least not much. Then again, you don't really fit many beetle lyrics into 2 kilobytes of data. No. Especially if you also want to use that same data for actual science.
Exactly. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Maybe he can just access somehow all data that's ever been on his hard drive or memory.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of suspension of disbelief kind of thing you got to do here to make this realistic, right? But it's interesting to think about how the different eras of time are different sets of data, right? Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So 9 interrupts 10 a lot.
I like the all caps.
Yeah. Just screaming,
Yeah.
Just like, wow, what's happening? Help! What? Huh?
There's a lot going on.
Why am I a prob?
I don't know anything. This is the only conversation I've ever had. That's how I feel whenever I talk to people, guys. It's very relatable.
Yeah.
And what year is it?
Exactly, right? Yeah, this is basically just kind of the big reveal of the whole space probe thing, right?
Yeah, but it's also just really good dialogue. I'm sorry, what are you sorry for? I don't know what I'm sorry for, I'm just saying something.
You don't even know.
I don't understand where I am. Is where the word? Is this a where sort of deal? Yes, where are we?
Yeah.
3.5 trillion
it's just great
miles.
writing here. That's the thing. At this point, I was engrossed. I like this.
And you can still feel that 9's kind of still afraid that 10 is going to leave, right? 3.5 trillion, don't leave. I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Oh, that's also a beautiful one, by the way, because she is 3.5 trillion miles away.
That is a long...
How would she leave? What does "don't leave" even mean? I understand
They're already
exactly
so
why
far.
they said that. But yeah. And the photograph.
This photograph creeped me out, but again, that's because it was
nothing.
1 a.m.
Yeah, so Juice actually mentions 2 photographers here.
Yes.
Joe
Yes. That's a weird writing.
Wait, isn't that a French person, by the way? Yeah, it's a French inventor. Can you pronounce that?
Yips. Well, even for a French name, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Born Joseph Niepce.
Wait, Niepce? How does...
Actual name is Nicéphore Niepce. French inventor.
I'm not even going to get
Niepce,
involved
okay.
with the names. I'm not. Oh, I see.
It's funny thing is, this guy was actually never known as
it's so
Joe.
old.
This guy was actually never known as Joe, so I had a difficulty even finding him.
Yeah.
But he died in 1833, and he was basically the inventor of photography.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad someone else Googled that besides me.
I figured, hey, weird
oh,
name.
okay,
let's
that
look this up.
photograph.
Yeah.
I see.
So, Juice's dialogue is generally just very... how do you describe this? Everyone compares him with
Everyone's
Dave Strider.
saying Dave Strider. Yeah. But I mean,
at first I was like, hey, what's Dave Strider doing here? I mean, it's not entirely fair because he's definitely a different character. But
I think like it's not. Well, I think the reason everyone compares him to Dave Strider is that's just the most similar character that everyone kind of has in their head right now.
The irony in this the way he talks.
Yeah.
The metaphors to just random stuff.
Well, and even the capitalization and the lack of punctuation, right? I think it's really just kind of a more modern style of communicating. Like this is how I text my friends and stuff, right? But I think Dave Strider is just the most kind of prevalent fictional character that has that kind of persona, so that's why everyone's making that connection.
Yeah, and of course the format of this webcomic is similar to Homestuck.
Yeah, the mixtures of media and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
Although the dialogue's a lot easier to read because there's no random characters mixed in, so I'm thankful for that.
But I've also seen people compare 10 with John and 9 with John and 10 with Rose, by the way. So that's a thing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of parallels drawn. I don't have.
It's because of the modern, right? It's just because these characters are basically just chatting with each other, and that doesn't happen in media.
Yeah,
There's no other thing where that happens.
Yeah,
where people just chat.
Yeah, it's the way of like it's all dialogue basically, right? Which I like. Like it's a lot easier to read, I think, than. It's a lot easier to write too, actually, than more of a traditional kind of narrative. I like it. It's really good, and I mean I enjoyed Homestuck. I read it. I think a lot of people are drawing these parallels because they just want something else that is like Homestuck because we're all sitting around waiting for something else to happen and nothing's happened yet. But then this is here, and I think that's why I don't want to get too deep into that personally because I know there's a lot of issues that people are having with drawing those comparisons. So.
Before we go on, there's too much rain. Have you read Homestuck?
No, I haven't. Well, I basically know what happens in it.
Yeah, you probably know who Dave is, I assume. Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
even basically knowing what happens, I read the entire thing, and that's more than I know. I have no idea what happens in it, so I'm
currently writing a series of analyzing every single line in Homestuck.
Oh yes, you said that the other day. It's good.
So that's a fun thing.
How long is that? You better hope we all become immortal in 2026 if you want to have time to finish that, because that is going to take you about 10,000 years.
I haven't reached the first Pestrolog yet.
Oh my god!
And I've been doing this for a few months. I did go on a hiatus because of this webcomic, because 70,776 is just too great, and I can't focus on anything else right now.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
So yeah, Matthew Brady is also a photographer.
Civil
War.
Slightly
later.
Yeah,
Civil War.
He was a Civil War photographer. I googled him too. That was the most kind of. He studied under Samuel Morse though, which is interesting. He photographed Andrew Jackson, lots of celebrities.
He photographed 2 presidents, and I assume he photographed a lot of dead people.
Yes, well, because Civil War photography, yes, for sure. 1875, yeah. Lots of good references, although I guess if you're able to consume the entirety of
we lost.
all the content... Oh, my back...
Did we lost? Are you still there?
I am.
Okay, Pigeon and lost.
Oh, no.
Are you... Please answer. Please answer. Please answer.
Fucking answer.
Don't leave.
I'm just not going to say anything until I'm back. Am I back?
Ah. Are you back?
I think
yes,
so.
You're back.
Okay. That's gonna be fun to edit for whoever edits this. Well, here's a fun fact about Matthew Brady. He took a lot of Civil War photos, right? He spent over $100,000 to create, I think it's just 10,000 plates, which is how they did photography back in that time. And he was expecting the government to buy them when the war ended, but they didn't. So he went bankrupt and lost all that money.
Well, at least he made the photos.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually looked at his photos yet. Oh, this is a pretty good photo. He made good photos. I'm glad he made photos.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have many photos from this period, of course. So I'm just happy with everything we got.
Just another one of those situations where you really only appreciate people after they die poor, I guess, right? Happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then again, he did photograph 2 presidents, so he probably was at least to some degree successful.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's interesting. It's interesting to see how, you know, he was taking all these war photos and no one really wanted to confront that. That's why no one wanted to buy them, which makes sense. But yeah. Lots of good references in here. Jon Bois has been doing his homework.
Yeah. But yeah, so Juice is basically just insulting 9 right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I introduce myself to people, so you know.
What? Your camera is trash. I love it.
This is a very blurry photo. I don't blame Juice for insulting it.
It looks like a spoon.
I'm surprised Pioneer could even photograph themselves.
Yeah, I was trying to find information on if Pioneer 9 actually had a camera on it. But there isn't an individual Wikipedia page for Pioneer 9. So I haven't found anything on that.
But yeah, how can it take a photograph of themselves in that angle? Well, if they had a camera, shouldn't it be fixed on them?
Yeah.
This is the kind of angle that you see Curiosity use, where Curiosity edits multiple pictures to make it look like someone else has photographed the rover.
Right, yeah, you string them all together. Yeah.
Except Pioneer wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm on the NASA page now, and I'm not seeing anything about. I always forget these things are spinning when they're out in space. That's one thing I never remember about probes, that they're not just floating, they're moving in a straight line. They're like spinning on an axis. So let's not forget to picture that.
What does spinning even mean when you're in space?
So we see the photo. What I find weird here is that previous to this, like 10 was talking about like memory banks and that sort of thing, but 9 still didn't really clue into that and like ask about it until this point, and they still like the first thing they think is that they're on the space probe. Not.
Did you two realize by this point that Pioneer 9 is the probe?
I think when I was reading it at 1 a.m. No, not until it was kind of explicitly put out there. But
it was kind of...
Yeah.
I don't think I was really registering it yet anyway. Yeah. I wasn't really... I mean, at this point I was just reading without really thinking about it.
I had definitely gotten to the point in my own head where I was like space, right? I was thinking space, obviously, because we just... And like someone stranded out there trying to communicate with people. But I didn't think that it was actually the probes that were communicating. That hadn't occurred to me.
I mean, at this point, you're like, this is a sports website. What is it?
Yes.
I was
it has
I
nothing
was
to
pretty
do with
confused.
football.
Yeah,
Then again.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 9 is getting existential here.
That's basically the whole comic. Then we get some really neat like newspaper clippings. I like these.
Yeah, in negative.
I'm just
Fine,
wondering, like,
fits
how
the
does it
background.
feel to be an entire prov? Like, people can... Wait, there are no people on Pioneer.
No,
Okay, no, I'm confused.
you wouldn't be able to fit the person in Pioneer 9.
No, Pioneer
How
9's
big
like
was-
the size of a chair.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Pioneer 10 might have been big enough for. Let's look this up. How big Pioneer 10 was?
I think Pioneer. I think the like comparison I've seen is about the size of like a small car, but Pioneer 10 doesn't really have a like inside. It's just like a big dish.
Okay.
Like you might be able to fit into Juice. Juice is huge because.
Yeah, but most of that's sold.
Oh yeah, just is really
You wouldn't
compared to the
live. You would be able
others.
to live inside of that. But yeah, these newspaper clippings are pretty neat.
Yeah, there's
I like how
a
it's
lot of work
black
that's gone
backgrounds
into
on
this.
black backgrounds.
Yeah. A lot of work that's gone into this. All the although I say that, you know, everything kind of lines up, but then 9 asks about Steely Dan, the band, which I know everyone's... Because
I didn't
1968...
know
Everyone's
about
favorite
it
code.
before.
1968 is the year that Pioneer 9 was launched, and it's
Yeah.
also the year after... I have it written down here. No, it's the year that the founding members for Steely Dan met at college. So the band wasn't even really a thing yet at that point. So I'm not sure exactly how that works.
The
It's
broadcasts.
a bit
I guess
anachronic.
broadcasts. But
But
yeah.
Oh no,
It's
okay,
unusual.
you get the datas after.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because we talk about, you know, or 10 talks about, you know, they've been sitting out in space for so long, kind of collecting everything. I guess someone at some point must have broadcast a Steely Dan song and it went out into space. Good band, by the way. I was listening to some of their music today.
I don't know if I know the songs actually. I know about the bands, but
The only song, there's only one song that I actually heard on the radio around here. I don't remember which one it was. I'm opening Spotify.
what I found interesting is that Juice is like probably,
Yeah.
probably. Like, his response stuck with
It doesn't
me more
make
than the
sense
actual
with
question.
the
Like,
I'm-
yeah, maybe they are. I mean, they're currently still together, so
Yeah, I thought maybe there was some sort
So
of
maybe-
joke there about the band had been together for a long time by that point. On their Wikipedia page, it talks about there's a couple years that they weren't active. So I don't know if that's kind of referencing that or what, but yeah.
from 81 to 93,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But it's a good reference, I think, that a lot of people have latched onto, and I feel like they're getting a lot more plays on their songs online now.
Well, the impact on this whole thing isn't that big. Can
Well,
I
the
just go
fandom
to
isn't very
Pioneer?
big yet, so I don't think it will have
I'm going
real
back to
consequence.
Pioneer. Let me give an example here. Pioneer 10 page view the statistics. You can see the statistics for Wikipedia pages for how much they've been accessed
Oh boy.
Okay.
in general. And before the thing started, it
The
was
fifth.
accessed about 200 times a day, 300 times a day.
Uh-huh.
And now Pioneer 10 is looked at 700 times a day. Pretty consistently too. So
Yeah.
it's not that much more.
I wonder
Yeah.
if where's the Google,
So
like,
it's hard to say how much impact it's actually having.
yeah, I know Google does their, like, search, it doesn't work right now, their search graphs. It'd be interesting
Analytics.
to pull that up and see how much people have been searching for these things now. Because I haven't done much.
It's too recent for that.
Yeah, I think so. It takes a while for them to get the data. Because before now, I hadn't done much looking into the Pioneer probes or anything. I've watched and read some stuff on the Voyager probes.
You haven't done any
Any
research?
research
But-
on...
Not much.
Like
Before
I
reading this.
also find it funny because one of the later chapters is called B Nebraska,
Yeah.
and it's about the pavement city thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it was the Wikipedia page for that was viewed 6 to 10 times a day, 3 times sometimes, and then suddenly 190 times, 292 times.
Yeah, it's crazy
It's
what
nice
kind of
peak,
impact.
yeah.
I've spent a lot of time on Google Maps recently going to different cities in the States trying to find some of the places that get used later on, because there's a couple pictures that he's taken right from, like, Google Street View, and I've managed to track down a couple of them. Like, we found the sidewalk the other day that was in chapter 16, I think,
Oh.
and I managed to track
The
down
pavement,
the billboard from yesterday's chapter.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun stuff, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
A little bit, yeah. I'm just excited to talk about the rest of this, really the only other thing in this chapter now is
no
is
humans
the
in
video.
this.
No.
Yeah, basically, the game started. It's like, wait, game? What are you talking about, right? I was kind of confused here because they're like suddenly talking about a football game.
Yeah, this is where like this whole thing has just been space existentialism, and now there's football all of a sudden, which is kind of weird. But what year is it? And then we've got the first video.
The storm, and you're like, okay, what's going on?
The presidents.
Yeah.
The presidents.
I really like how Juice calls it where does he say it? The clicker, as if it's like a television with a remote. Which
Yes.
it definitely isn't, but I find that kind of funny. I also like how a tornado game is a thing that has clearly happened before, because there's like a phrase for it.
Yeah, well, obviously this happened before. The US has quite a lot of tornadoes.
That's true. Be
Aren't they
surprised.
people chasing after tornadoes?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, I mean, aren't they people... Well, I remember some documentaries where the people were just chasing after storms and...
Oh, yeah. Storm chasing's a big thing in the States. We're in, like, tornado country. It's crazy.
You kind of see that in the next chapter, actually.
Yeah.
It's a tornado game chaser.
Yeah. They're trying to track you
Yeah,
down
but there's
and
football
film
in it.
Right. Well, it's even more American now. We got football and tornadoes.
Well, this is
No
the most
nanos.
American webcomic. The only thing not American about this webcomic is Juice. So
I had so much trouble like picturing like the voice I was reading Juice's text in did not sound French in the slightest, and I still have trouble trying to picture that.
Oh, neither, honestly.
It was strange.
I haven't even tried.
But the thing is I guess if we're talking about these probes kind of getting their personality from the stuff we're broadcasting out, Juice wouldn't have been only consuming French broadcasts. It would have been everything. So it could have been a bit of everything.
Apparently, the only thing he seems to care about is the United States.
That's where all the
For some
football is, I
reason.
guess.
Yeah, that's true.
But he
it's-
isn't...
we also just don't know what happened to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Just isn't that French. Well, we can't really see the French side of her personality.
Yeah.
The French side of his personality.
Okay, that sounded weird.
Well, you're French, so you can stereotype all you want.
So then let me get into the video then, I guess, which is my favorite part of this chapter.
Amazing background music.
Yes.
This is the best background music in the entire webcomic.
I've been trying to find it somewhere. I have not had any luck. So if any of you find it, please send it
I've
to me.
just downloaded the video myself.
I probably should do that. I was hoping I could find it on Spotify or something. I did Google Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, which shows up in the video. It's a real stadium in Louisville. So that's interesting. Papa
Is
John's.
that the thing
pizza
that
chain.
the shadow goes around?
I
Or-
think so, yeah. 40. Oh, yeah, I guess I can just scroll through here, can I? This bit with the presidents makes me dizzy trying to watch it. They scroll by so fast. Yes, 45.
Yeah.
That's a stadium that's owned by a pizza chain. Oh, no, not that. Yes. No? No, it's around
050?
050, yeah.
Also a thing. I haven't actually looked at that much.
Yeah, it's right at like 49.50. But that's
Think about
real.
040. Oh yeah, I see it. Papa John's Cornell Stadium. Yeah.
So that's a pizza chain that owns that then, which is fun.
But yeah, the list of presidents, which is a whole story as well. It's at first it just shows America,
Yeah, the actual
Basically.
historical presidents.
the focus. Yeah, but just the focus on the United States, really. But it's also just nice because the presidents Jon Bois picked are pretty nicely picked, just generally.
Yeah, because up until like right now, like we see that Donald Trump is president through to 2025,
Yeah, so 8 years.
and then Tom
All the
Cotton.
pictures.
Tom Cotton, I looked him up and it looked like, a general Republican politician guy. I buy it.
Yeah,
And
and then
after that, first female president, or wait,
Yeah.
isn't it two later?
yes, there is. Yeah, and then there's another Bush that becomes president.
Yeah, which I could totally buy.
Yeah, and then Bernie Sanders, which is good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But
it
the
just
great thing is at that point he started getting younger. So
Yes. Because when I first watched that, I'm like, wait, they're gonna elect Bernie Sanders when he's like 100 and something years old? That doesn't seem realistic to me. But at this point, of course, we don't know about the whole immortality thing. And then it just goes too fast to see anything after that point.
I've heard it loops, but yeah, I can imagine that.
Then we get
it doesn't really matter much. We find out later that basically
everyone can be the president.
1% of the population has become president at some point.
Yeah, because there's only so many people. Because if the states doesn't change their laws, because you need to be born in the states and you need to have lived there for a certain amount of years in order to like be eligible to become president. So they're gonna run out of people to be president eventually.
And how are they gonna fix that in a million years or something?
Well, the other thing is you can't be president for more than 2 terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they changed the laws at that time.
I assume
at
they
that
would.
point still. Yeah.
Because even at the point that the comic takes place, I don't really think there's much point in having politics, right? Because it sounds like everything's pretty...
There's no wars anymore.
Yeah, there's not. It's more just to put a face to a nation, I guess, right? Especially in the States.
The U.S. really cares about presidents.
Exactly,
I think it actually really matters.
Yeah, to the States,
to have a president.
For sure. We were talking about this in the Discord, which everyone can join, by the way. If you go to 17776.football, there's a link. I was talking with someone about what if the Queen survives until 2026, because that would be her 100th birthday, I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that just now, actually.
Yeah. Because I was just...
She'll be still queen.
Yeah, she's already been queen since 1952.
Yeah.
I was only thinking about this because we were talking about it the other day, I was looking at the $20 bill that I had on my desk, which has the Queen on it, and I was thinking about how weird that would be to have her literally be queen for the rest of time. I wonder if she would just retire at some point.
She might, because her son would probably get a bit mad about that, grandchildren. But I can imagine, okay, I've been queen for 30,000 years now.
Yeah, right.
Finally, it's your turn.
She's already reigned for the longest out of any queen, so we might as well just keep that record going, right?
I think Prince Charles would get pretty pissed at that point.
Eventually, yeah.
But yeah, that's a great kind of thing about this.
That's one thing I was really interested in, is the politics, but we can move on from that because there's not much more to talk about, I don't think.
We can guess a lot, but this thing has been going for 45 minutes now, so...
All right, we're
already.
The one thing I do want to talk about is in the video we go to the Statue of Liberty and it's all flooded.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
That's basically the most iconic. It's a really iconic part of the video.
Yeah, you see the Statue of Liberty a lot and stuff like this, far future,
definitely
kind of stuff.
In Homestuck, there's this moment where there's just broken down Statues of Liberty everywhere in a big desert area.
Yes.
And then one character's like, "Where am I?" And then another character's like, "Don't you see all the Statues of Liberty? This is Earth in the far future." There's a post-apocalyptic Earth.
It's the symbol. It's the thing. Do we just figure this is global warming then? That's flooded New York? That's kind of what I think.
60 meters is quite a lot.
I went on, someone sent a link to a Google Maps tool where you can increase the sea level to see where the water will be, and 60 meters puts me underwater, so that's not fun.
Yeah, but it must be 60 meters because of, the map just matches. The map matches.
Yeah, it's a lot of water. And I figure, I know some people were talking about trying to figure out exactly what it was. I just think it's global warming.
Wait,
at that point.
With global warming, so there's no ice anymore. No ice anymore, no polar bears.
Yeah.
But
no penguins.
Oh, God.
It's really hard to say, actually. Honestly.
Because we find out later, I don't know if we're too worried about spoilers in this. I'm assuming people who are listening to this have read most of this already. So I don't know if we want to just, like the nanos, right? We find out later that they can scrub carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they fixed global warming, but I just guess they didn't fix it in time to stop all the ice caps from melting.
Yeah,
it's already
that's-
getting worse. So
Yeah. Well, there was just the other day in the news, there was that iceberg
Yeah.
that broke off. It's like the
It
size of an entire
broke.
state or something. So we're already on our
Yeah,
way
it was yesterday.
to that.
It's pretty fun, by the way. I already guessed the Netherlands probably has a 60-meter dike in the far future.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're just gonna just keep building that, right?
Yeah, just keep building it higher as needed.
Yeah.
That seems like the thing this webcomic would do if it focused on the Netherlands
I'm
at
just
all,
trying to
or on
imagine-
Europe at all.
I'm trying to imagine the satellite picture of that, where it's basically
But yeah, the
just.
video is mostly not particularly interesting otherwise.
I
From
think
the author of the Tim Tebow CFL Chronicles, which you should read, by the way, because it's amazing.
that's the next thing, and we'll do a podcast on that one too.
Yeah, that
a
sounds
whole
like fun.
video.
Because that's Canada. That's my thing. There we go. I can offer all that knowledge.
Yeah, I would like to know if it's an accurate representation of Canada.
I mean, I think
Just,
it's Eastern Canada. It sounds like that's the other side of the country for me, but maybe.
Yeah, it is Eastern,
Yeah.
but you know, it starts out in Quebec, I think. I don't even know.
Yeah.
And they go to Montreal.
Yeah. Yeah. I just skimmed
And I-
the first page of it. I wanna read it after this. I think this video for me, like content-wise, there's not a lot. It's just like the opening credits, but I think especially rewatching it after I've read the rest of the comic, it's kind of. I really like this kind of genre of future Earth kind of stuff because it's very positive almost, right? You know, it's kind of comforting to know that stuff's just
Yeah.
kind of still happening. We're still playing football and we're still going to work or whatever, that kind of thing. Because so much sci-fi now
Yeah.
is just, you know, the world has ended and
It's not
a
the
disaster.
age of chaos.
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, not to say that this world that's kind of in this comic is perfect or anything, but it's
Well,
a
there's
lot more.
boredom.
yeah, that's the thing, right? But it's
That's the main problem.
yeah, but it's a
Also-
lot better than, you know, global warming has killed half the planet and we're all dying kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But still, on the human level, it's kind of sad that in this world, that the only issue is to be bored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, what would you do for 15,000 years or 15 million years or whatever, right? Because if that's so much time you have, what are you
Draw
gonna
fan
do?
arts.
Exactly, right?
All
make
time.
stuff. Like,
I have
yeah.
a list of a lot of languages to learn, and I would like to learn instrument, and you know, there's
Yeah.
plenty of stuff to do, honestly.
Yeah,
But you know, 15,000 years, I can handle it.
it's
Then,
yeah.
Well-
once you get into the million years, it might become an issue.
Yeah, that starts to be a little, you're like, well, you know. But yeah, that's the end of chapter 1 then.
Yeah.
Just one more thing.
Yeah?
There is no future in football. Is there-
Oh, right, we see
What is
that.
the future?
Well, actually,
What is the future of football? Well, the fun thing is that
Long-range
football does
football.
have this huge, weird rule creep where just new rules get added a lot, which is probably a big inspiration for these kinds of for Jon Bois in general.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no future in football. I don't watch football. I feel like I'm going to start watching football now, though,
Oh,
if I'm
neither.
honest.
I know nothing about football. I know about soccer, or as we call it here, football.
right, yeah.
it's
No,
all the
I-
same in the end.
Pretty much. I've been to maybe 2 football games in my life. We have a team out here, but
I've never gone to a soccer game, let alone a
I
football
never
game.
played it, so neither watched it. So
I think I might start now, though. Maybe I'll see if I can get some tickets
It's
and
not
go
too
to a
late.
game or something. Exactly. It's never too late. If I've got 15,000 years, I'm going to have to start watching football.
Well, you don't have much choice in this world, it seems.
Exactly.
Well, you could come to Europe if you want.
I mean, I
You'll
probably
probably have.
would.
You'll probably get called over eventually to become president, but oh wait, you're Canada. Never mind. Canada.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
Can you be prime? How long can you stay prime minister?
There's no limits.
Canada.
You can be like our
Really?
last prime minister. Like we just elected a new prime minister maybe 2
Yeah.
years ago. I think he was prime minister for 9 years, like consecutively.
okay.
Yeah.
There isn't a limit to it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is bad if you don't like the prime minister, because sometimes they just keep getting reelected.
That's democracy for you.
Yeah, very broken. Well, I'm at the end of my notes here. I don't have anything else to add. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say before we wrap up.
I'm basically done as well. Rain,
Yeah.
you have anything?
No, that's all too.
Yeah. I just want to mention again then, hopefully I'll have it more finished, and I'll put some information about this up on it. If you go to 17776.football, that's a fan site that I've started setting up where we're going to hopefully collect some kind of projects like this. I know there's a couple other things that some people are working on, so if you go there...
props.
Yes, exactly.
On the page.
It's if you can
so
you can. There's a link there. I'm going to put a link up there so you can get in touch with me somehow if you got something you want me to put up, or you want to suggest something, or if you find something broken, because it's very broken in a lot of places right now. But that's the only thing I wanted to mention before we finish up here.
By the time this goes up, the website is probably perfect. So, there's also a Discord server for the fandom for 70,776. So check that out. I'm sure you can find it on Reddit or something.
There's a link on the website as well.
Yes, Reddit.
I can imagine. And, read the Tim Tebow CFL Chronicles, because it's good. Check out Jon Bois' YouTube channel, because it's also good. Jon Bois. Bois. Thank you. That guy. And, just generally check everything out. It's great stuff.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you next time for chapter 2.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for listening, and DFTBA, I guess.